In Arthurian legend, Igraine is the mother of King Arthur. She is also known in Latin as Igerna, in Welsh as Eigyr, in French as Igerne, in Thomas Malory's La Morte d'Arthur as Igraine, are often modernized as Igraine, and in Wolfram von Eschenbach's Parzival as Arnive. She becomes the wife of Uther Pendragon, but her first husband was Gorlois. Her daughters by Gorlois are Elaine, Morgause and Morgause. Welsh tradition. In pre-Galfredian Welsh tradition, Eigyr is one of several children of Amlwyd. Her siblings include Wyeth, the mother of Gwalchmai, who is mentioned in Culhwch Olwen. The same source mentions Gorman, son of Rika, half-brother to Arthur on his father's side, his father the chief elder of Cornwall, Geoffrey of Monmouth. In Geoffrey of Monmouth's Historia Regum Britanniae, Igerne enters the story as the wife of Gorlois, Duke of Cornwall. King Uther Pendragon falls in love with her and attempts to force his attentions on her at his court. She informs her husband, who departs with her to Cornwall without asking leave. This sudden departure gives Uther Pendragon an excuse to make war on Gorlois. Gorlois conducts the war from the castle of Dimilioch, but places his wife in safety in the castle of Tintagel. Disguised as Gorlois by Merlin, Uther Pendragon is able to enter Tintagel to satisfy his lust. He manages to rape Igraine by deceit. She believes that she is lying with her husband and becomes pregnant with Arthur. Her husband Gorlois dies in battle that same night. Geoffrey does not say, and later accounts disagree, as to whether Gorlois died before or after Arthur was begotten. Uther Pendragon later marries Igraine. According to Geoffrey, Igraine also bore a daughter Anna to Uther Pendragon, and this Anna later becoming the mother of Gawain and Mordred. Yet Geoffrey also refers to King Hole of Brittany as Arthur's nephew and presents a prophecy that to Uther's daughter will be born a line of 7 kings. Something true if Hole is Anna's son, but not true if only Gawain and Mordred are Anna's sons. There is confusion here, especially as Welsh genealogies name an Anna as Hull's mother, but one not connected to Uther Pendragon. Robert de Boron. In Robert de Boron's later Merlin, Igraine's previous husband is an unnamed Duke of Tintagel, and it is by him that she becomes the mother of 2 unnamed daughters. One marries King Lot and by him becomes the mother of Gawain, Mordred, Gafuriet and Gerere. A second daughter, also unnamed in some variants but in some named Morgane, is married to a certain King Nenters of Garlot. A third illegitimate daughter of the Duke of Tintagel is sent to a school and learns so much she becomes the great sorceress Morgan Le Fay. Morgan and Morgane are respectively the nominative and oblique forms of the same name. Indeed, no accounts outside of de Boron's Merlin mentions that Morgan Le Fay is illegitimate and therefore in this version Arthur's stepsister. According to Robert de Boron, Igraine died before her second husband. Vulgate Merlin. In the Vulgate Merlin, Igraine is provided with 2 earlier husbands, one named Hole who is the father of 2 daughters, Gawain's mother, and a daughter named Blasine who marries King Nenters of Garlot. After Hole's death, Igraine marries the Duke of Tintagel and by him becomes mother of 3 more daughters, a third daughter who marries a King Briadas and becomes mother of King Angus of Scotland, a fourth daughter named Hermes and who marries King Urien and becomes mother of Ewain the Great, and a fifth daughter who is Morgan Le Fay. It is possible this whole derives from Geoffrey's confused statement that Igraine's eldest daughter had by her first husband Howell, which was misunderstood to refer instead to a supposed first husband of Igraine named Howell. Other accounts. In the post-Vulgate cycle and Sir Thomas Malory's La Morte d'Arthur, it is Morgan Le Fay who becomes the wife of King Urien and mother of Ewain. In other accounts Egwene is not Arthur's nephew, although sometimes his Gawaine's cousin when the respective fathers are presented as brothers. In the Brut Tasilio, Duke Cador of Cornwall is the son of Gorlois, one would guess by Igraine. The same appears in Richard Harding's Chronicle where Cador is called Arthur's brother of his mother's side. Opposing views appear in Layamon's Brut where Cador appears first as a leader who takes charge of others' host when they are attacked by Gorlois, while Uther is secretly lying beside Igraine in Tintagel. In the English alliterative Morte, Arthur Cador is continually called Arthur's cousin. Thomas Malory's Morte d'Arthur names the first daughter Morgause, the second Elaine, and the third Morgan le Fay, with no mention of Morgan's illegitimacy. Lancelot is the son of Arthur's sister Clarine in Ulrich von Zetsehoven's Lancelot. Caradoc Bribris is Arthur's sister's son in the prose Lancelot. Percival is son of Arthur's sister Eschenbach in the English romance Sir Parzival. Arthurian tales are not consistent with one another, and sisters of Arthur seem to have been created at desire by any teller who wished to make a hero into Arthur's nephew. The prose Lancelot relates that when Igraine became Arthur's wife, she left behind in the dukedom of Tintagel a son of the Duke of Tintagel by a previous marriage. Some romances show her alive after Arthur's death. ɪ́ɡreɪnഃ de Troyes Parzival. Le Comte du Graal-She and her daughter Gawaine's mother are discovered by Gawaine in an enchanted castle named the Castle of Marvels. Gawaine had thought both his mother and grandmother to be long dead. This same account appears in Wolfram von Eschenbach's Parzival and in Heinrich von dem Terlun's Die Igraine. In both of these latter, it is explained that Igraine was abducted by the magician who has enchanted the castle. In the French Livre d'Artis, an incomplete alternate conclusion to the French Vulgate Merlin, it is mentioned that Igraine dwells hidden in the Grail Castle. This is apparently a version of the same tradition, since in the late Vulgate cycle the enchantments of the Grail Castle are very similar to and seem to be based on the enchantments found in Creation's Castle of Marvels. Modern fiction. Jack White's A Dream of Eagles portrays Igraine as the daughter of Athel, a ruler from Era. She is married off to Lot, the Duke of Cornwall. She flees the cruel Lot for his arch-enemy, Uther Pendragon. She is killed by Derek, King of Ravenglass, one of Lot's allies. Shortly after he kills Uther, she dies, telling Merlin, Arthur's cousin and commander of the forces of Camelot, of her son by Uther, Arthur Pendragon. In the BBC series Merlin, Igraine is the wife of Uther, who dead for many years by the time the events of the series begins. She could not conceive, and so Uther asked for the help of the sorceress Nimue so that they could have a child. Igraine gives birth to Arthur, but because magic was invoked in his conception, Uther had to pay the price of asking for a life from magic, that of losing the life of someone he treasured equally, his wife. It is Igraine's death that sparks Arthur's hatred and persecution of all magic users within his kingdom. Tears to Tiara is an anime loosely based on the story of King Arthur.